Well, hey everybody. I'm Jan Erickson from Stepping Aside, and welcome to Thursday's edition of Somewhat Daily Tarot and Rune for the 22nd day of April 2021. Well, I think that Monday's reading sort of built on the one before, the week before, where maybe it kind of felt like help was not there. Now, it's possible that simply something opened up a week ago Thursday, but in that reading, but it also could be that perceptions were such that it felt like nothing and no one was there for you, but maybe in truth that it was just perception based. Monday's rune were Sawillo and Carcer, so you have, the rune of the will, uh, exerting some influence on some notion of self-imprisonment. So either you're keeping yourself there or you need the rune of will to get you out of that. And then we had the Six of Swords, which means a journey over water. The Knight of Pentacles, which is a new, a new direction, new possibilities with respect to our foundation, our material security. So again, I have to think that maybe what we were experiencing last week was being clarified on Monday, really resolved, and now we can go in a different direction. And so we interpreted it as a new direction or perception. Oh, the last card was Six of Cups, and so shared abundance. So anyway, a new direction or perception that affects the physical or material security, allowing for a new shared abundance with others. I think that it did build on last week, so we'll see what today's is. Maybe we're shifting a corner, turning a corner today. I don't know. We'll see. I think that right now we're in this transitional period where we're not, it just feels like we still don't trust the experience, our experiences out there in the world. And then some of us maybe trust them too much. I don't know. But it's like people are still at different extremes. The concerns are still at opposite ends, and I think that we're still trying to figure all of that out. I suspect that that's going to be a struggle for some time until something major, either news comes out that clarifies some things that people can no longer ignore, or maybe there's just something major just happens, but it's going to take that, I think, to shake people out of their faulty perception right now. So in any event, let's go ahead and I'll shuffle a little more in a little bit. Let's go ahead and take the rune and see what the geomancy rune is going to be for today. I started a new series. I've been wanting to do this for a while, and I've kind of done a little bit of it, but not in terms of anything regular, called the Goddess Effect. And what it's going to be is going to be looking at, and it won't be every day, because sometimes they'll just stay in the same spot, or it's nothing really, there's no strong influences or anything. But I'm going to look at goddess planets. So we're going to look at plus the moon and Chiron, because the moon and Chiron have such an effect on us. But we're going to look at Venus, Ceres, Vesta, Pallas, Juno. Now, Black Moon Lilith is just a point. We're going to look at that as well, and also Eris. Did I get them all? I think I got them all. Yeah. And so anyway, they all have to do with standing in your own power as a woman, balancing the masculine and feminine within relationships, how we perceive them, what we expect out of them, how nurturing we are. Sometimes nurturing is hard to do, both for the self and for others. So we look at that as well. I just think that the feminine side of self is reflected in these planets and planetary bodies and positions, and I just thought it would be interesting. I see there's a lot of interaction between them, and so periodically I'm going to do that over on the blog over at Stepping Aside, and so just look for that. I'll let you know on here when I do one, or if I put one up, but there's one up now, so if you want to go over there and look at it, the link to the blog is below the video. So we have Kenaz. I just set it down because I was talking. We have Kenaz as our rune for today. Similar in effect to Sawillo. It's actually part of Sawillo. But we're looking at the torch, or the light of spirit. informing basically our perceptions, our decisions, our behavior. It's really ego or it's spirit or some blend in between. But oh, well, this is interesting. So we have Caput Draconis, which is the north node of the moon it governs that. Let me see if I can find it here. And that's Kata. Oh, here's Caput, and it means the head of the dragon. Now its counterpart, Kata Draconis, is the south node of the moon, governs that. And when you're looking at the tail of the dragon, but here you're looking at the future, as opposed to the impact of karma or the past or past life on our experiences. But basically, this is clearly heading off into the future. And so I think that it aligns with Monday's Six of Swords in that regard, for sure. Just the idea that a different direction that's predicated on the light of spirit, is certainly what we need right now. Fortunately, the police officer was found guilty on all counts. I was so pleased to see that. There has to be something that changes here, that protects, leaves people feeling that they can actually go out of their homes and not die as a result. Because that's what we've got now. And no matter how good one particular department might be, there's 10 more that have got people in them that aren't. And if they aren't willing to stand up to these folks, if they aren't willing to set a standard, then I don't know. We're going to have to really look again at how we police in this country, because what's happening now is so bad that it can't go on. I just think that it's like looking at what DeSantis in Florida did, and now he's signed a bill into law that gives immunity to anybody who plows over protesters with their cars. Well, I doubt that's going to stand up, but just the very harshness of the experience, the us versus them, we're so much better than the rest of the majority of the population. It's that attitude. And somehow or another, our First Amendment right to stand up and protest and speak out doesn't matter in Florida. Well, just like with Georgia and their voter suppression law that they just enacted, well, you're going to start to see companies not want to do business there. The same will happen in Florida. And so you're going to see some pressure exerted. And of course, the senators are freaking out about, oh my goodness, don't get involved. Before it was, oh yeah, get involved. We want your money. But now that you're saying things that we don't like, well, you're trying to protect, democracy. Oh my goodness. Well, now we can't do that. Right. Yeah. So you see what happens. Oh, there goes a card. You see what happens. Let's see. Oh, it's the Five of Wands. Playful struggle. But you see what happens, when perception runs amok and you decide that you're the only person who matters, or a group of you are the only ones that matter and the rest of us, not so much. So they think they can just do whatever they want, right? Well, they can't. But in the meantime, they're going to try. And I guess why I'm saying it is that it just brings out the idea that we're stuck in this drama that a small group of people cannot let us get out of. They need this. They need this for their own agenda, I guess. And so we can't allow that to happen. And we keep coming back to, in the readings, like today with Kenaz and Caput Draconis, it's signaling there's a new direction that's opening here. And we can't ignore this, and Kenaz isn't going to let us. So the rest of these people that want to behave so badly, all eyes are on you, and it's not going to do you any good in the long run. So, well, we have two major cards here today with the Ace of Pentacles. So in a sense, aces, I don't know. They consider aces to contain all of the energy of that particular suit. So with the Ace of Pentacles, we have all of the energy of the earth element. in the Suit of Pentacles, all contained within this. Everything is said to be contained within the Ace. And I kind of look at it more as the energy for the manifestation is contained within the Ace, not necessarily a whole thing, but you see a hand reaching out from a cloud, which you will in all the Ace cards here in the Rider-Waite deck. This time it's holding a pentacle, a big coin. And so that's representing our material security, or who we are, our physicality in form. So our work, our home, our family, just the community structure, the whole structure of our lives is contained within the Ace here. And like with Caput Draconis, we see a path. We see a wall here with an arched way. Everything has got greenery all over it. So abundance is ours if we walk through that path, on that path through the archway. Now you see also gray mountains there in the background. So we're really looking there at there'll be challenges along the way, but that's okay. But there's a definite delineation between here and what's beyond that wall there, beyond that archway. You see the scrubby trees right there. I'll show you that maybe a little closer. The ground's kind of barren, you know. But we walk through that archway into new experiences in terms of our material security, new opportunities, in fact, maybe for career, for anything. And again, the challenges are there, but we can do it. Now, once we walk through the new door, we've got the world here, which shows the cycles. And it shows the elements. These are the hermetic glyphs for each element. You'll see that also on the world. And on there in the middle, you're going to see a representation of, will be a round circle of the wheel. And then you're going to see tarot on the inside of it. And but you're still seeing the lemniscates, I believe. But you also see those on the world card as well. I'll have to double check on the world and make sure that there are lemniscates. Maybe not. The figure eight's there. But here you see the endless circle. The braided garland, if you will, you could call it that. And it's all done in an endless circle. So we have the constant cycling of fortune being up, fortune being down with the wheel of fortune. And here it's just the cyclical nature of our lives. And since we've been having struggle with one another, the cycle is now moving in the direction of resolving that. The big nonsense over the last, 4 or 5 years, where all of the us versus them mentality grew and grew and grew and intensified to the point that violence was happening. Conspiracy theory grew. And that's what it is. It's not true. This allegiance to that guy whoever he is or she is on that movement. I'm not even going to say the name because I think saying it gives it power that it shouldn't have. It's all a bunch of lies, and it's taken people off a cliff in a way that is affecting their livelihood. It's affecting their home life. It's affecting their relationships with others. They've truly gone all in for something where they are being duped, and that's what's happening. But we have a new path that can form where we can reject all of that and come back into some kind of unified shared direction. And I think that again, when you look at, and it was last week, I think that we had, let me look here. Well, we had the world last Thursday, actually. But we had the wheel one day, and I don't know when it was. Maybe it's been a couple of weeks ago. Oh yeah, back on the 1st of April, we had the wheel. I've been writing them down so I can bring the two readings for the week together. But basically, if we're talking about a new direction, we're building upon that now. We're taking it now, and we're understanding the cyclical nature of life, and that ultimately we move around the wheel in terms of our experiences. We can also look at it in terms of, well, you can look at, because it's the last card of the major arcana, you're looking at the completion of the soul's experience in form. And so, you know what? You know what? Let's begin there. We've completed the soul's experience for what's happened over the last 4 or 5 years. That's one experience that's ending now. Now we have Kenaz to light the way for something new, okay, to take place. You can see all that light that's around that coin there from the sun. Well, the implied sun behind it, which is the light of spirit. It translates into the light of spirit. But here we have the new direction with the Ace of Pentacles and Caput Draconis, and then we come to the Moon, the 18th card of the major arcana. It's a 9 energy, so endings and completion is 1. But now we take a new path. Here we have the lobster coming out of the pool. And when you see the lobster, that signals regeneration or rejuvenation. So think shedding your skin and creating something new. Again, Caput Draconis. Again, Kenaz. This light of spirit lighting our way. In this case, it's the moon barking at the dogs. But the dogs are representing the polarity within, the dark and the light. Can also represent the receptive and projective, or feminine and masculine within. But you see, just like you do here with the mountains on the other side of that archway, you see the same right here. This time a path is being cut by probably water at one point. But the path is windy, for sure. But we have the familiar theme of the 2 pillars. Now, it doesn't have to just be pillars, okay? It can be towers, it can be trees, anything. It can be mountains, anything that shows a path going through. It denotes it denotes the notion of the middle way, okay? So it says that now the moon can indicate dreams, emotions, rebirth, transformation, cycles again, as we do here, the cyclical nature of life, illusion, intuition, awakening, change, deception. Again, did I say deception? I don't know if maybe I said deception already. It can be that, but I think we're leaving behind deception here. And moving, especially with Kenaz, and we're moving into the light, into a new direction with both Caput Draconis and the Ace of Pentacles. So we can either see the world first, that we've come full circle, and now we're ready to embark on something new. And I really think that that's how we need to do it. Or the decision to do that could be the deception that's been playing out over the last 4 or 5 years. Between all the propaganda surrounding the former guy and the former guy himself. Lie. Okay? Constant lies. All right? Constant deception. Ultimately, again, this may be something that is going to take some big revelation of, okay, this is what really happened, folks. I mean, we're starting to find it out. Okay, we're starting to see little bits and pieces come out, but I think when we see the whole facts, I think the country is going to be shocked. Well, probably most of us won't be, but those that were for him are going to be really shocked when they find out just exactly who and what he is and what he actually did. But it's going to take that to really make people understand, and there will still be those that won't. So I don't know what we do for them. I really don't. So we've got deception here going on that's going to trigger a new direction forward, maybe. Or it could just simply, we could do it reversed. But I don't know. Maybe let's do it that way. Let's do it with the moon. This is just one of those days where it can be either. And I don't know. It depends on how you want to see the impetus for this new direction that we're taking. Either we've come to, the ending of something, and with the world, an ending of an entire group of experiences. You can look at it that way, or predicated upon deception and awareness of that, we move forward. That's with the light of Kenaz, lighting the path there of our and illuminating things. You've got the rejuvenation and the regeneration of the lobster here coming out of the pool, signaling, that you're shedding old perceptions. So, and when you do that, then you can come into your full expression, I guess, with the world. So yeah, let's leave it that way. Let's start with the moon, go to the Ace of Pentacles, and end with the world. Because we'll look at the world as your full expression, understanding the cyclical nature of life, understanding the both sides of it all. If you look at the Kabbalion, if you go and look at that, I did a video on it. So if you go to some of the esoteric, there's like a heading or something of the different in groupings of them, whatever that's called, playlist, I guess. Anyway, if you want to look at there and look for esoteric studies or esoteric influences, whatever I did, I talk about the Kabbalion in there, and one of the concepts of it is everything is contained within a circle. It's a finite set of experiences within the circle. That's what creation is. Well, not finite, but infinite, but finite in terms of the circle. So everything is contained within the circle. So you're not looking at one circle versus another. You're looking at all of that energy contained within one unit, and one unit of experience, if you will. And we could call that unit of experience creation, or you could call it just your own personal life. But the idea is that you experience both sides of things within that. So if we're here and the Creator breathed out life, if the Great Mother breathed out life and experience, and that's what all of this is, then everything we experience with others, we're experiencing with the other side of self. And so whatever we can glean from their behavior, from their choices, from their perceptions, it allows us to explore that without having to, or we think we're not doing it ourselves. But if we're part of the Creator's, process here, if we're part of one of the little aspects of light of the Creator focused into form, then we all are part of one another. The idea of a soul group here being here for all of us, I think everyone on the earth is part of everyone else's soul group. I don't think it's small groups of people. I think it's a massive group, and I think it's one big soul group that's here, having a continued shared experience where we're exploring different ideas that are ego based, unfortunately, to see the damage that the ego can do. I think we've been seeing that over the last 4 or 5 years, what the damage that ego can do to the population. I think it found its expression on January 6th on the insurrection. But the bottom line is that should have never happened, right? It should have never happened, because the kinds of things that took them there are so obscene and so insane that you wonder, how could any rational individual believe any of it? So what does it say? That everyone who does is irrational? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But the bottom line is we have to look at the impact of this, and we have to see the truth. Kenaz helps us to do that. Sawillo helped us to do that on Monday, to release us from the carcer experience, the self-imprisonment of our own perceptions, and to seek a new path with other people, or to re-seek that path, to go back to that path, maybe. But here it shows that we're doing that with the lobster coming out of the pool, isn't it? And we've got the 2 pillars here, a new path forward through the middle. The moon isn't particularly happy about that, but so that says that it's going to be an emotional decision, right? But at the same time, it's one that needs to happen so that we can begin anew and to reform our traditions and our structure and our foundation with one another, because it is a collective one. It may seem individual, but it really isn't. It's collective in nature, and we have to get back to that. So anyhow, so that we get our completion, our synthesis, and our reward of the world. So anyway, that's it. Thanks a lot, you guys. Check in on Sunday for Esoteric Influences, or come back on Monday for another week, Monday and Thursday, of Somewhat Daily Tarot and Rune, or do both. I'd love you to do that. And if you haven't clicked subscribe here, I'd love you to do that as well. Check out my work over on Medium. Check out the work over on my Patreon page. I have one of those. Just costs $1 a month to join. You don't have to join every month. It can just be a monthly thing. It's like, oh, I'll read them this month and I don't have time next month. That's fine too. Let's see. There's also a tip teacup over on the blog. Over on the side panel. It's one of those PayPal things. So if you want to support the blog with a donation, that's welcomed as well. I really appreciate that. Let's see, what else? I guess that's it. Links to everything are below the video. I guess that's it. So daily astrology goes up Monday through Friday over there at Medium. Magical forecast Monday through Friday on the blog. Magical focus over at Patreon 5 days a week. And then also, again, I'm going to do that the goddess effect periodically. I guess that's it. Esoteric Influences in the hard copy go out in the newsletter. Oh, the newsletter. You can sign up for that. That's also sign-ups over on the side panel of the blog there, too, along with all the videos. So I guess that's it. Well, listen, you guys have a good weekend. And, I hope you've gotten both your vaccines. We did. We've now gone a week on our second one, so 2 more weeks, and on our in fact we'll be free to be a little more flexible on and see our grandchildren on our anniversary, the 5th of May. We aren't going because their mom and dad they're not finished with their shot series, but that's in the mix, in the hopper, and so hopefully we'll start to get our family back together. So anyhow, we get to see our sons and their wives and our 2 grandkids. So yay! You guys have a good weekend. We'll talk again on Sunday. Be good to yourself. Be good to one another, and blessed be.